All right, what's up, guys? So I'm gonna let everybody know that we're getting started, and then we will get going here. And if you have any stocks you want me to look at, put that in the chat, and I'll go over those. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about overall market here. SPY. Okay. Take a look at SPY. Let's see here. High was 59.44. High 59.65. Okay, so we ended up breaking the 52-week high from last week, or sorry, the 52-week high of this year, which was back over here. So as you can see, now this bull flag that we kind of created for a while when everybody got super bearish is now over with. So you can see that. I mean, it wasn't as clear on SPY as it was on QQQ. You can kind of see this clean bull flag that we were forming. And ended up, we kind of completed that pattern now. Okay, so what's next? So let's mark this here. I'll change this color to white. This high here, 408.71. Let's plug that in. 408.71. So this is the 52-week high for QQQ, or sorry, the all-time highs. So that's kind of the next level that's in play, right? Easiest way to play SPY in QQQ right now, in my opinion, is take those lower time frame squeezes and play them to knock out that 52-week high. So squeeze play, 52-week high. It's been pretty plain and simple as of recent. Like every squeeze is fired to the upside. We currently on Friday just had a squeeze fired to the upside on the 2 hour. So we should have some more room to run, right? So with keeping that in mind, we can see a continuation going into this week. So let's see here. So really, there's no reason to be bearish at this point. If you are trying to be bearish here, you're really just trying to pick a top when it comes down to it. And as you can see, that has not worked very well in the past few weeks. So really, there's nothing to be bearish about. Let's finish what we were doing here. So easiest thing is now that we have hit 52-week highs on SPY and QQQ, if you're a day trader, something that's easy is any of those pullbacks and you get like a 30-minute, 1 hour squeeze as a buy signal, you're taking that back up to the 52-week high until the trend kind of fails. Really, I think that you can continue to take this until we get to this new all-time high, which on SPY is 79.98, so pretty much 78, or wait, 80, 79.98. Plug that in, 79.98, right around that area. Okay, so that's the new all-time high, right? So we can go in here, plug this in, and I think really when it comes down to it, we are, I don't know what is the exact percentage of this. 45, right? Okay, so I mean we are within 10%, I want to say, of all-time highs, if I'm right. And my correct me if my math is wrong, but you can see we are very close to all-time highs here. So really all I'm going to be doing, we have a weekly squeeze. Looks sloppy on the index or on SPY. If we look at ES, it'll probably look Nope, it's just as sloppy. But if we look at QQQ, you can see we've kind of got a clean squeeze. We're headed to that. It looks like we're headed to that 52-week high. So we can look for bounces right around this area here, right around 380. Maybe this 385 area. But number one thing I can tell you, if you're mainly focusing on the indexes, I think the easiest way to do it is play those lower time frame squeeze trades, 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, even 4 hour, like we've got here on QQQ. I think they are kind of some buy the dip opportunities. So at some point, we will get a pullback to the 21 EMA. It's just a determination of when that is. So let's go ahead and plug this level in here at 400 for QQQ. That's going to act as a key level here. And I'm sure there's going to be some sort of wall, right? I mean, we're at 390. You got to think about how many people are buying calls at 400, right? That are looking for that 400 price target. And then they're looking for that all-time high. But a lot of people, I'm sure, we can take a look. And I'm pulling this up on my phone, so just because it's easier than logging into Thinkorswim. But let's look at QQQ, and I'll give you guys the numbers. So the open interest on the December 14th or 15th, which is the monthly expiration, the 400 calls have 46,000 open interest. So the other one that has high in open interest is that 95 strike, which has 48,000. If we go out to January, I'm sure it's even more prominent. Yeah, we've got 41,000 open interest at that 400 strike, 41,000 around that 395. So we can kind of expect, based on those open interest strikes, I mean, the previous high was that 394. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some resistance at 395. So let's go ahead and plug that in. It's just those key kind of strike prices in the market. So we've got that 395, 400. And then as for key prices here, really what it's going to come down to is just those psych levels. So around that 360 area. And then from there, we've got all-time highs up here. So things that are going to be in the way. I mean, we're looking at, okay, so if SPY breaks 360, it's probably going to be a swift move up to 370. And so, yeah. Okay, so that's kind of the analysis on the market. It's a buy the dip situation based on what we're going for. Now the ideal spot to get long, 21 EMA near the on the daily time frame. But if we go look at the put call ratio, which if you're in the signals chat, you know a lot about this. We talk about this a lot. You can kind of see here, 10-day moving average is starting to get to that 0.8 area. So the market is starting to get overly bullish. So it wouldn't be a surprise to me if we see some sort of price action, but we start to get weaker up towards these levels. Like I think that it typically with these, it usually takes a week or so, or a couple weeks or so for this to fully play out where we get the pullback that we're looking for. For example, this here, we started getting readings over 1.0 in end of September. And then we didn't get that full reversal until end of October. So it took about a month for this signal to play out, but we had been talking about it for weeks, right? So we could be, this is where we start to like, once we get this 10-day moving average under 0.8, that means everybody's bullish. So just a quick recap, everyone's bullish or bearish up here. If the put call ratio, 10 simple moving average is above 1.0, means everybody's bullish or bearish, sorry. And then if everybody is bullish, that moving average is going to pull below 0.8. So just simple reference, everyone bullish. Can we copy that? And then everyone is bearish here, okay? So with that in mind, we have to know, like, so it's starting to get to a point where we need to be cautiously bullish. I mean, I don't think this rally is over, but I do know that we can be cautiously bullish here as we get into these readings, and then kind of expect a reversal to happen at some point. It's some sort of pullback. So a pullback might look as simple as something like this here, a pullback here, even like a pullback here. I don't think it's going to be this extreme, but we will see some sort of pullback. This is probably one of the most accurate things I've used in my trading, and you guys know, the ones that have been with me for a while know that I pay attention to this very thoroughly. So although I am bullish and I think we're going to continue higher, we have to start to become cautious as we get prints or readings below this 0.8 level based on the 10 SMA. So that's kind of the analysis on SPY QQQ overall market. Now we can move into some other things here. So few things that I'm paying attention to is energy. So as for energy, this one's been a little tough. You can see we're kind of forming this bear flag. I don't know if it's going to fire off to the downside. Reason being is because if I get rid of these lines here, you can see how we've had one candle close below the 50 SMA or 55 EMA on the weekly, and then we came back up, closed above it on some decent volume. Again, we closed below or tried to push below it, came back above. We've been hitting this demand here. And then again, we tried to print below this. We've got a little bit of a spinning bottom type candle here. So it's like, okay, we've been holding this on the weekly time frame. And so we've been talking about this for weeks, about this sector overall. We're setting up for a reversal, okay? You can kind of see here, we're starting to move into a little bit of oversold territory. I'm expecting something like this to happen here on the weekly time frame. So it's a matter of when are we going to print that big bullish candle? And if I'm wrong, we'll be wrong small, right? It's just a move back below that 50 EMA. But I'm not playing this chart. There's a lot better stocks out there and within the energy sector that I like, that I will want to play, and that I'm already in, and we'll kind of go over those. But just to get give my perspective on the energy sector, why I've been watching this so much is because we're setting up for a big move that's indicated by the squeeze. We've got the same thing going on the daily time frame here. You can see we're kind of consolidating. Every time we've tried to push below this support, we've got bought back up with volume both times, here and here. We've gotten bought back up. We have an obvious resistance level of this 20 or this 200 EMA. So once we get above this, I think that we will kind of be off to the races, or structure will begin to look a little bit better. But right now, it's looking a little dicey, but at the same point, you can see the histogram has continued to lose selling pressure. And then you can see on the 4-hour, we're gaining bullish momentum. We flip to the upside. We've got a squeeze. We're kind of squeezing and kind of consolidating up into that 50 SMA. And then we can kind of, once we get a break above there, we'll start to look a little better. And you can also see here how we were green on the day on Friday, and we look at CL, and we were red on the day and kind of had to push down. So it'll be interesting to see what we end up doing. Oil futures right now are up 0.82%, almost a full percent. So we'll have to see if this thing wants to break down or not. I'm playing this through MPC. A lot of reasons to be bullish on this chart. We've got bullish structure. We've been holding that 55 EMA. You look at the weekly time frame, we have this clear consolidation pattern. We had an explosion up and we've traded sideways. So really now what I'm looking for is, okay, when are we going to break upside? We've got a squeeze. You can look at these lower time frames like the 4-day. You can see same kind of thing. We've got a bull flag type pattern forming here. And I'm expecting this to kind of break upside. And I think it'll really explode upside when XLE starts to kind of take off. Which other sectors are gaining momentum? So we're going to get, well, I'm going to go over that. But right now, XLE is kind of one that I'm paying attention to. A little more dicey, but I like this one to the upside. So that's that. And then another name. So we've already played this. WMB is a way that we played this energy sector. And as you can see, we entered on this candle here and we ran up ever since. And we've had a really nice move on this trade. I think it's eventually going to head to that $38 mark. So this one looks really good for continued upside. But like I said, we entered here. I don't think there's an entry right here. So that was a trade that we already took and we're out of. And now we've replaced it with MPC. So I'm looking for this one to break out of this consolidation and have a move upside. Another way, a cheaper way to get exposure to the XLE sector or energy sector is PAA. You could play this through shares if you wanted to. I think this one's ready to break out upside and we could see a nice move on this one. We look at the weekly, we've got a weekly squeeze. This thing looks clean. You can see we have a squeeze, but we're continuing to trend upside. It looks like we're basically, they call it a breccia ledge, but it's kind of a reverse breccia ledge. So rising wedge pattern, you want to call it that. It looks like we want to break upside out of this pattern and have a nice move up. And eventually maybe we'll go tag that $20 price target. We'll see. But I do like this one. I think there's potential on a pullback to grab an entry on this. And I'm going to go ahead and set an alert for that one. And we can see about entering that later this week. So that's the energy sector. Another sector that I really like is the airline sector. So this one, you can kind of see it's starting to stage a reversal. We had a low and then we got out of that low. And now ever since we're kind of creating this pattern of higher highs and higher lows. So I'm looking for this one to kind of continue a reversal. We've got a gap to fill right near that 200 EMA. One of the ones I like in this is a little far gone, but this here is AAL. This had a nice move on Friday. I think we went up, what do we go, 5% on Friday. We had a really nice move upside. So I'm interested to see if we can get a pullback on this one for an entry, but I do think we'll continue to reverse and go head around that $14 area where we've got a gap to fill up there. So that's a name in there. One that's not liquid, but I really would like to trade, and I may trade through shares, is Skyworks. We're right near a 52-week high, and we are trading upside. We've got a squeeze that just fired off. And yeah, and then one other one, probably my favorite one within the sector, is GD. So this one, we would just need a pullback on. You can see we had a consolidation. We've kind of had that same rising wedge type pattern that we talked about a minute ago. And this is a gap and go pattern. So we had kind of like a strong report. We gapped up, traded sideways to up, and then we didn't come down to meet the EMAs. EMAs came up and met it. And then now we're just kind of off to the races, and we're at that 250 price target. We talked about this one last week. I think 52 week highs is up next. And that should be a pretty clean and easy move. On top of that, we've got all-time highs right here at 257. So this one looks like it's pretty ready for the upside to continue upside. It'd be a nice one to get a pullback on. So I've got that one. I believe I've got that one on my watch list. If not, let's add that on there. So that's that one. From there, a couple other things I'm watching. Another sector that I'm paying attention to is the casino stocks. So this one here, we traded on Friday up. We're up 40%. Got a little trim on that one, continuing to hold this one. I think it's going to be a pretty easy move up into that $48 where the SMA or 200 EMA is. And then from there, I think we may go fill the gap and head towards $50. So I like this one. You can see here, we're kind of creating this inverse head and shoulders pattern here. Inverse head and shoulders and flagging here. EMA's crossed. Boom, we're having a move up so far. And you can see the volume we had on Friday. So that gives me even more reason to believe that will continue upside. And yeah, and that gives me every reason to like this trade. So we had big volume on Friday, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a nice move into tomorrow or early this week. And yeah, I like the casino sector because we look at MGM. This one also looks very good. I'd like to pick this one up potentially tomorrow because I do like this one because we are back above that 200 SMA. We've got a squeeze. Everything looks clean on this trade. We just need a little bit of a pullback to enter this one. And I think we can see some upside movement in this one. The first kind of easy target would be at that $42 level. And then from there, we'd look for that 42.5. And then really from there, we could probably see this 44.50 area. So I like the casino sector. Some kind of oddball stocks that I'm paying attention to. So we've talked about the energy sector. We've talked about the casinos, and then we've talked about airlines. One that I forgot to mention in the airlines, UAL. I like this one as well. I think if we can break, notice how we've tested the 55 EMA 1, 2, and now we're heading into it that third time with strong volume. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of stops above here and we just fly through it and go fill this gap pretty quickly here. So I like this one. You can see 4-hour squeeze. We've got the EMA stacked and it looks like it's ready to take off. So I like that one as well for the energy sector. So now some kind of like oddball stocks that I can go over are going to be MSTR. So earlier this week, I didn't pick this one up, or last week, just because the options are really illiquid. So I might be forced to play this through shares. But this one, really, really clean. They have big holdings in Bitcoin, which if we go look at Bitcoin, we hit that 40,000 price target, didn't we? Yeah, we sure did. What's it up right now? Not that much. Well, yeah, okay. So you can see here, we had a clean breakout. And you can kind of see, like, if you look at this chart, it looks, this is another one of those rising wedge patterns in a strong market where it's kind of like you have a squeeze that you're trending upside still, consolidating sideways, but trending higher. That just indicates strength, right? So I really like that type pattern. So we broke out here and now you can kind of see this chart almost looks identical to this one. It's just this one's lagging a little bit and we are right near those 52-week highs. So this one was up $30 or 6% on Friday, if we can get a pullback, we've got clear resistance that's now turned to support right around here. So I'd like to pick it up right around there and see it take out this 52-week high. So that's a clean, easy target. And then notice we've got a huge gap to fill up here. So I like this one. Bitcoin stocks have been on a run for a minute, so I do like this one as well for upside. So I'm kind of paying attention to this one. Another couple oddball stocks that are like ready, I would say ready to make a move. Roblox. This one looks clean. Actually, I think our other analyst, Dark Knight, he was in this trade and had alerted it to you guys and was up 42%. I'm sure he's up even more by now. But this one I like here for a short-term swing trade to the upside. And we've got a big gap to fill up here. If we can get a pullback, I'd like to see an entry on this one. You can see the 4-hour squeeze just fired off, and daily squeeze, we look good. It's ready to go. So I like this one as well for upside. And then maybe, I don't want to say that it's going to head to that $50 price target, but you can kind of see we've rejected multiple times right around this $47 level. So this could be a really big risk to reward play if you bought a few weeks out or a few months out, sorry, and looked for this to kind of move up back into this where we've been consolidating this entire time, back up into this area right around here around $45 to $47. And then if we break there, we're kind of off to the races. We got 50 coming up next, and then we're kind of breaking out of this base pattern that we are creating. Kind of similar to something you could see with MU. So you can see we were in this base for quite some time, and we had this clear resistance here. And once we did break that, we've kind of been off to the races ever since then. So I like that name. Palantir. I think this one looks really good for upside, and it's just a clean setup, right? It's a kind of textbook setup. Squeeze, gap up after earnings, gap and go play. We're right at the 52-week high, right near it. So we just need that momentum shift, and we should be good to go. And this one will head upside. Actually, this might be one I'd want to pick up tomorrow. So I'm gonna throw that up there. So I do like this one. I may pick this one up tomorrow. Okay, and then let's see here. So that's really it for my watch list. Those are kind of the main ones that I'm watching. Those sectors, as well as kind of a couple of these oddball growth stocks that I like, that I think we could see some nice upside on. So I'll look at some of the tickers you guys have for me. Adobe. So this one, this has earnings coming up pretty soon, so I don't think I'm going to touch this one. But if you wanted to play it, I think this 4-hour squeeze is in play. Once you get a trigger to the upside, you could take it back to that 52-week high, which I want to say, yep, that 52-week high. And then from there, I don't think you're going to get, I'd be very shocked if you got all-time highs by the time earnings came up, but I do think move to that 52-week high is pretty easy. MATA. I can't give you analysis on this one. I mean, it's not even, I can't really do this one because it doesn't really have a real chart. Like, I don't really know why it moves like this. It looks like it's traded on extremely low volume. So, or the data is delayed. Yeah, I can't give you analysis on this one. I don't really know what this is. So I wouldn't be the right person to ask about this one. I'm not really sure about that. Oh, Meta. Meant to say Meta. Okay, so this one, I'd remain bullish. Okay, so this one I just wouldn't touch because we've got 4-hour squeeze going to the upside. for like personally, I don't really trade individual stocks, like puts on individual stocks. I will play them on the indexes. Reason being is because you can be right on the market and the market goes down, but you get caught in some news, makes this gap up, and the markets shoot down pretty quickly on their own. So I don't really like playing the short side of individual stocks, and they also can do weird moves that you're not really expecting, right? So I prefer to only really go long stocks, and then I will short the indexes is kind of how I choose to trade. So this one I just wouldn't touch. It's going to form a daily squeeze here, I think, pretty soon. So I'd look for that and then potentially take it back up to the 52-week high. Yeah, QQQ weekly squeeze, it looks really good. Which other sectors are you gaining momentum? Kind of explained that already. Tesla 4-hour. Yeah, so this one looks good. I like it. So we've talked about this a lot, waiting on that shift of momentum. So I like this one to the upside. What I'd do is, if you don't want to wait on this 4-hour to shift momentum, go to maybe the 2-hour and look. So see how we have a squeeze here, wait for the momentum to shift on this one, and then just take an entry. So that's an easy play to take. Or go to the hour. Yeah, so look for a lower time squeeze play below the 4-hour, and then play that momentum shift and look for the 4-hour to kind of fire off as a result of that. That's usually how I get early entries on stuff like Pinterest that we took a few weeks ago. So or this was last week. So we had a daily squeeze. I entered in based off the 4-hour and was looking for that daily squeeze action, right? So you can see the momentum shift. We got in here and then we're up 250, 275%, something like that. But yeah, that's how I typically like to do those. Okay. SoFi. So this one, I mean, it could be staging a breakout. So you could look for it to break out above this one. Personally, I won't be playing this just because I think there's a lot of things that look better than this. Like I would rather play PLTR, which is already in a clean uptrend right near 52-week highs, versus this. Like it's in a clear uptrend, PLTR is. So I'd rather play this one rather than that. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to break out, but there's other names I'd rather play instead. I'd rather play a stronger stock that's near 52-week highs. Or the whole sector looks good. AI, cool. This one looks good. I like this one. I'm not going to play, like, this is an A+ setup to me. Only problem is I've been watching it for a couple weeks, but I'm glad I didn't play it because this consolidation right into earnings, that's what I usually like to avoid. So that's why I didn't end up playing this one, but it does look good. But I'm not going to touch it because of earnings. But other than that, the chart looks good. High since Bitcoin is over 400K or 40K. Should we look into other mining stocks like Mara, Riot? So I think personally, yeah, but you kind of missed the move. We played this a few weeks ago. I think the move, I'm not going to chase it up here. The move's been made. You had a long time to get into it. It's too late, in my opinion. CZR. CZR is looking still for this week. So yeah, it's a swing trade. I'm looking forward to continue up. I mean, we're up 40%. You can, if you want to take profit, do what you want. I think it's going to continue. I'd much rather set my stop at break even and get stopped out for no loss, no gain. I'd rather see it move because I think it's going to make a big move with the rest of these casino stocks. And just like Pinterest, it's like, yeah, you could take profit even when it spiked above this high here, but you're missing out on a ton of gains because you're scared to lose a profit. So I'd rather take a break even trade than miss out on a lot of gains. And I think this one can continue at least to $48. So yeah, I'm still holding that one. So stop losses. So just a little quick explanation. I use ATR for my stop losses. You just go in here, ATR, average true range right here. That measures the average range that a stock will move within whatever time frame you're looking at. So like for CZR here, you can see it's 1.57. So $1.57. And then like the 4 hour, you can see here it's 93 cents. So that's usually how I use it. I will set my stop outside of that to give it enough room. So if it moves bigger than the average price that it normally moves on whatever time frame I'm trading, then that's usually a indication that I'm wrong. So that's when I get out. But I do have a full walkthrough class of my strategy that's within the Signals chat, and we're doing a free week trial. So you could get all those classes done if you didn't want to pay for or to be in the chat. But we are running a free 1 week trial. All you got to do is sign up in the Discord. We've got links posted there. DM me if you can't find it. And yeah, you can join there and get started with us. But yeah, so I got a full classes on my strategy, on my stop losses, profit targets, why I take trades, all that good stuff. FedEx Weekly. I've seen this one. I like this as well. Now, okay, I'll leave you guys with this. This one looks good. Oh wait, this is not FedEx. FedEx, yeah, this one looks great. But it does have earnings coming up, so beware of that. A couple weeks. I do like this one. I think it's going to go to that 52-week high here pretty seamlessly. Well, last one I'm going to leave you guys with, KSS. This one has a 25% short interest. And you can see we've tested the 200 EMA 2 times. And you can see this bullish candle we had recently. We've got a squeeze. We've got buy signals. We've got a 4 hour squeeze. So this one I'll probably pick up tomorrow. And I think that we could see a really nice move on this one. You can see if we look at other retail stocks like FL, you can see this one's gapping up, having a big move, which we talked about a few weeks ago. Macy's, this one's also having a really nice move. JWN. So this sector, it's just now it's time for, I think, KSS to follow suit and get going. So that's that. Thank you guys for coming. I hope this helps. If you guys are interested in our Signals chat, we're offering a free week trial. You can sign up there under the tab called free trial. And yeah, you can get started trading with us. It's free to join and then $20 after that. So thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you for the markets tomorrow.